You know what? Life can be very, very challenging. Just because there's not a rule book or a guideline that lets us know what we're doing right or wrong. We're human, so we're wrapped up in a lot of emotions and, you know, like feelings and stuff. So once our feelings get hurt or get pinched or whatever, it clouds our judgment on how we look at things. And I was fasting for like a month. So I'm trying to get back to eating, and it wasn't even a purposeful fast. It was like a fast that happened because I was sad. I just be honest, I was sad, and when I get sad, you know, I don't eat as much. I lose appetite because my mind goes like a million thoughts per minute. So I've lost a lot of weight on this fast though, and I need my weight back. I don't want it in certain places, but I need my weight back. But yeah, it's like, once you're hurt or your feelings are pinched or whatever, and you can't necessarily, I want to say think clearly, you know, you kind of ruin things when you're like wrapped up in your own emotions, or when you're wrapped up in your own feelings and stuff like that, because the heart will tell you one thing and the mind will tell you another. You know, I feel like the mind is the more realistic way of thinking about things, like, oh, this is not worth your time, or you're being irrational or whatever. But the heart will always say, I love this person, or I love my craft, or it's okay that they hurt me. You know, like your heart has a way of forgiving things that your mind has not yet registered or capable of letting go. And when you're unable to register how you feel, when you're unable to sit in your feelings, when you're unable to speak about your feelings, when you're unable to acknowledge that you even feel some type of way about something, you start to harbor all of this bad energy inside of you. Actually, I'm sorry. You start to harbor all this bad energy inside of you, and it's like your mind starts, or I don't know, it's like you start to make up things in your mind. Like, instead of talking to the person about how you feel about what happened or what's going on within you, you start to make up things in your head. So now you start to believe things that are not true, you know, and you kind of start to ruin the relationships around you when you have become defeated with your own mind and your own feelings, and you can't express them fully or properly as you should be able to. But I've been like really investing a lot of my time watching a lot of motivational videos, whether they are about, or from, I should say, TD Jakes, Oprah, Steve Harvey, Will Smith, Ayana. I can never say her name, but her. But I've been really like invested my time into learning new ways to communicate, learning new ways to deal with my emotions. But most importantly, I've been learning a lot about myself, that, you know, what type of person I am and why I allow things to go the way they go, because I honestly believe that everyone can be saved. I feel like you can save anybody if they're willing to allow you to save them. Everyone is deserving of love, even if you've done wrong. Yes, you reap what you sow. You know, karma will eventually come to you. And sometimes it's not necessarily you. It comes to your child, your mother, whoever is around you. Karma will eventually come. But just because you're suffering right now does not mean you'll continue to suffer later. It's just your turn. It's your turn to feel what you did to other people. It's your turn to understand why someone heard it the way they heard it when you did what you did. It's your turn to use that pain to understand and put yourself in other people's shoes, so that you're more willing to move and do things differently next time, because now you understand how something feels. You understand what a heartache feels like. You understand what being betrayed feels like. You understand what lying to someone, how that can affect them. You know, yes, life may throw you punches and things might be going horrible, or you feel like you're not catching a break. But with every punch is a breakthrough. With every punch is just making you stronger. Life, that's all life is about, is making you stronger, so that in the future, in the near future, when you do get into like another situation that's similar to what you've already been through, you know how to move about it and you know how to go about it. And it was an interesting thing that I believe T.D. Jakes said. I think he was having a life class with Oprah or something, and he said that your cup, no, he said that some of us are 10-gallon people. Okay, so we hold a lot, we require a lot, and we want to be loved on the level of being 10 gallons. Okay, and sometimes we are surrounded with pint-sized people who don't require too much, who don't hold enough, and who cannot fill us up, because they don't have enough within themselves to fill you up the way that you have already learned to fill yourself up. Okay, so he was saying, even if you get into a relationship, or even if you have a family member or a friend or whomever who is a pint-sized person and you are a gallon-sized person, sometimes we have to understand that we have to love on the level that they only know how to receive it. Because we all have our different love language. So my love language may not be the same as yours. So that's probably why we're clashing and bumping heads, because I require this much of whatever, and you don't even require that. So you wouldn't think to do that, because that's not something that you require to receive or to show love, you know? So he was saying that sometimes if the person who is a pint-sized person is willing to at least increase mentally on how they view things and how they see things, just to satisfy you and make sure that you're fulfilled, then it's okay. But just because the person who's a pint size is rising up to make sure that you are okay, sometimes you have to shimmer down a little piece. You know, I'm not saying like just completely disregard your standards and your boundaries and stuff like that. Never do that. But he was saying to give them the love that they need, the pint-sized person, sometimes you literally have to go ahead and just lower yourself a little bit. And like I said, not to lower your standards or boundaries, but just lower how you view things, just so that you guys could come to a common ground and come to the same level, to where you guys are no longer clashing. Because what he was saying that I felt that was so interesting, that I never really thought about, was sometimes when people love you and they love you the way they love you, and you can't understand why they won't do more or why they can't give you more, honestly, the answer to that would be they don't know how. And a pint-sized person can literally be giving you everything inside of them that they know how to give you. Everything. They literally can be giving you their all, trying to fill up this gallon with a pint size, trying to fill you up with everything they have, but they cannot fill you up because they don't know how. They don't have the full requirement to do so. But they are legit trying. It's not like they're not trying, or it's not like they don't love you. You know, it's not like they don't love you at all. You know what I'm saying? It's just they don't know how. They just honestly don't know how. You know, as we get older, sometimes we'll say, oh, well, you're grown, you should know better than that. But a lot of people don't. They don't know better. And that's the reality I had to register in my head is some people aren't intentionally hurting you. They just know how to move through life the way they know how, the best way they know how, that's been comfortable for them, that's worked for them. And yes, in the midst of that, you know, sometimes you may end up getting hurt, but they are literally just doing what they know. And I'm not saying as adults, you know, you shouldn't try to improve yourself or grow as a person. I'm just saying some of us legitimately don't know how to love properly, don't know how to communicate properly, don't know how to express their feelings, don't know how to accommodate others to make them comfortable. They just legit don't know how. It's not like they don't want to or they wouldn't try. It's just they don't know how. So some people in your life you'll have to fight a little harder just to get to that common ground that I was talking about earlier, because you're the healer. You're the one who's already full of life. You're the one who already know how to accommodate certain things. And you can teach them. Now, I'm not saying be with somebody or be around people who are unwilling. Now, someone who is unwilling is the worst person to deal with, because no matter how much effort and time you put into y'all's situation, they will not reciprocate what you have given them. But if you have someone who don't know how, but they're willing to receive the information, they're willing to reciprocate and give you the same love that you give back, then you, my friend, I feel like you should work hard on that person. You should hold on to them a little harder, you know? Because us as humans, we make mistakes. We're messing up every day. We're still learning. I'm 26 and I'm still trying to figure things out. And, you know, I really wished in high school or even at home, you know, but that they would have taught us how to deal with certain things, but they don't. Because a lot of them don't even know. Like your parents, you wonder why your parents treated you the way they treated you. Have you ever thought to ask them about their story? Sometimes people legitimately don't know how. They know how to love you, how they have been loved, and that's it. And you don't have to hate them. You don't have to be angry with them. You don't have to be mad. You don't have to be sad. You know, if you've given your all to somebody, that's all that matters. It's just long as you know you've seen something in them that they didn't see in themselves. And you were willing to stand by them as long as you could before your heart started to break. You know? And me, I would stand by you until my heart break, but I'm learning that that's not okay. Because then I have to deal with that hurt and that pain and fixing myself up again or whatever. But I love people enough to want to know why are you hurting? How can I be of assistance in helping you with whatever it is that's bothering you? Now, I'm not here to be the healer anymore. I'm not here to do the most anymore. I'm just here to show you that there are people out there who love you regardless of the situations you're going through, regardless of whatever it is you're battling, and they want to see you win, you know? But yeah, I just wanted to get that off my chest before I go to work. Let me start back eating my sandwich because I need to gain some weight. But like, comment, subscribe to my channel. You know what I'm saying? It's not that bad. Like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, it's always peace, love, and happiness.